Hey everyone, it's me Lauren Gill and I am back to do another video. This one I'm really excited about because I'm doing a month of January purchaser pass, which is just looking at all the new hot releases for the month of January, going through and kind of dissecting them and figuring out if I would want it or not. So that being said, there are some doozies. I also know that this is going up relatively late, hence it's the end of February, but I had a lot of complications and a learning curve nonetheless, and kind of figured out how to not do this again and have to refilm, because that's exactly what this is. So let's hop into this. Like, follow, check out my other socials, they will be linked down below, and I very much appreciate it. Okay, so I moved over, so everything that I'm going to talk about is going to be over here next to me. So the first thing that I see here is for the Super Bowl. It's the Cheez-Its collaboration with Nails Inc. It's two polishes, a red and an orange, and it's weird that Cheez-Its is collaborating with nail polish, but nonetheless, these are weird times. I do, however, want to talk about the names of these because the shades aren't bad. They're basic, they're not bad, they're not cute either. So the names are Orangey Feelin' the Cheesiest, and then Flexin' in the Red Zone. Yeah, that's where we're at in the world. Not gonna pick these up, but they are an option. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about and kind of roast is anything that has to do with the Lunar New Year. So I know Pat McGrath, Hour 28, MAC, and I think ABH and Essence are all doing a Lunar New Year, Year of the Dragon product launch. And I've never been into year of launches. Not that I hate them, but it's just they're usually very dull products with red and yellow or red and gold packaging, and it's like, what's the point, right? So these are all passes. Still going through, and there's not a lot that impresses me. I am going to be way more critical this year, so keep that in mind. The next thing I want to talk about is the new launch from Fenty. It is their Even Hydrating Longwear Concealer. There are 50 shades, which is a lot of shades for a concealer. Usually you see 50 for foundations. Concealers can be sometimes a little bit less, but 50 shades is amazing. Fenty always sticks with a really good shade range. That's what they were known for when they first came out with their longwear foundations, so I expect it nonetheless. And I am excited about this one. Hydrating concealers are usually more forgiving on the eyes and under eyes, and I find that hydrating concealers tend to pair with most foundations, so I am curious to see if this pairs with the Fenty Longwear Matte Foundation, because that's my favorite one in the summertime. I'm definitely excited about this one. Another thing I think is pretty is this set from Natasha Denona. If you don't know, I love Natasha Denona. It's one of my favorite, it's actually probably my favorite high-end brand. But this is the Berry Pop collection. I think it was in honor of Valentine's Day. Hence, you know, we're past Valentine's Day, but you can still pick this up. I do think it's limited edition. It is the Berry Pop lipstick, which is $27, which is described as a cherry mauve. Berry Pop lip crayon, that's $24, which is described as cherry mauve. And then the Berry Pop Cheek Trio, which is $48. And you have a matte cranberry blush, a coral red and gold nude glow, so it's like a highlighter blush light situation, and then an icy pink champagne. So very pretty. I just don't wear a lot of bold lips anymore. So this is beautiful. It is stunning. Packaging's always beautiful, but I don't need it. The thing that I really wanted to talk about, the whole reason I wanted to redo this video, was because of the Twilight collection from ColourPop. Let's just break it down. So in this collection, there's the Twilight eyeshadow palette, that's $24. A trio of Luxe lip oils. I think you can buy it as a trio or buy them individually, although everything's probably sold out by now. They're all $11. And then there's also Super Shock highlighters for $10 each. There's a graphics ink liner set, which is, they're $10 each. Soul Shimmering Body Oil, which is called like Diamonds, because it's supposed to mimic like Edward's skin. And I think there was this whole thing about how ColourPop wanted to name it. I think ColourPop wanted to name it The Skin of a Killer, like how he says it in the movie. But I think Summit was probably like, no, you can't take that. So probably some legal things there, because there was a post that Instagram had made and someone had commented and they were like, sus, we tried. So I think that's funny. So the whole collection was $99. I don't know if they're going to bring it back. They probably will because of how successful it was. I get what they were going for because the hue of the movie was very like monochromatic, cool tone blues and grays. So I get that if you look at it in reference to the packaging. And I feel like for someone this is probably like they don't care. They want it for the collector in them. But as practical as it is, I do think it is not the best. Now, I get not going straight out of the book and going like super vampy gothic, because that's not really the movie vibe. They're definitely based off the movie instead of the book. I don't hate the color story. I feel like with any collection that's based on something that there's a cult following behind, anyone can say everything. I don't hate this collection. I do think it's really cute for what they were going for. I see the vision. It's just not a vision that like I'm into. Pat McGrath is coming out with a collection. It's the Heart's Desire collection. The eyeshadow quad's $56, and I am fairly certain this was already done. I am very confused as to why Pat McGrath, a luxury brand where this quad is $60 or $56. I'm very confused as to why a brand with this price point is going to dupe themselves. Now, if this was like, we're relaunching it, we're doing it again, I could get that kind of. It says nothing about that in this description though. Like, it literally just says it includes da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Will be available, it's coming soon. Lipsticks are basic shades, nothing special about that. The packaging is not really that cute. Pans that are embossed with like a design are such a waste. They are pretty, but in theory you're using it, right? So like, what's the point? And then this palette's been done before. I literally saw this on Ipsy being sold for $25. So why is it coming back for $56? We're not doing this year. One thing we're not doing and supporting this year is boring Pat McGrath. She's not worth it. I've had a couple of the motherships and they're not superior, honestly. It's a pass. Don't bring back something that's already been done. Don't give us the same thing over and over. It's just regurgitated and I'm sick of it, and I hope that other people see that too. And they see a pattern. Okay, Fenty, again, coming out with a lip gloss. They tend to add single shades into their lip gloss line. This is their Universal Gloss Bomb, and I do like the shade of this. It's a beautiful, like, fuchsia pink. However, one thing I want to point out that I'm going to clock right here, right now, is the lightest model is wearing a lip liner. I'm pretty sure the second model in the middle is also wearing lip liner. I feel like a lot of brands probably do this, right? Because there's no way to get that precision with just a gloss, even if you use a brush, right? So there's definitely a lip liner on that model. And I wish brands would at least say that. Like, her wearing a lip liner is not taking away from me liking this gloss, right? I just wish they would have been like, and the lip liner being paired with it is this gloss or this lip liner, because honestly for me I'd be like, oh well, then I need the set, right? But they don't do that, so catch that from time to time. The darkest model here, you can kind of get away with saying that it's not lip liner because people with darker complexion naturally have more pigmented and defined lips. I personally don't need this. It is a beautiful shade. The formula is nice. I don't like the taste of it. It tastes a little weird, tastes a little tangy. You will probably start to see that a lot of brands, when they're trying to sell glosses, are wearing them with lip liners. So just pointing that out. One of the things that I am disgusted by are these Tarte face palettes. They're eyes and cheek palettes, and I cannot with them. So these are the Maracuja Juicy Eye and Cheek palettes. First off, quit saying juicy. We're done with juicy. We're retiring that name. We're not using it as a description anymore for Tarte. Tarte, let it go. So we've got an all-in-one palette with 12 rosy bronze and neutral shades, matte shimmers and sheen finishes, 2 cream blushes and 1 cream contour shade, vegan and cruelty-free, $52 each. There's peach and pink palette, and then the red and berry palette. So the peachy pink palette is for lighter skin tone. Darker palette with like the red and the plum in there, that is for deeper skin tone. My issue with this is, one, the creams are not separated by something, covered by something that keeps the dust from the shadows out of it, because Tarte shadows are pretty dusty. That's my first issue. Second issue is the tone of the cream bronzer in the light palette is doo-doo. It could just be this picture, but for me it looks like doo-doo. On light complexions, it's not gonna look good. Don't let them fool you. That's gonna look so dark, it's not gonna work. If you're gonna do 2 cream blushes, you need to do 2 cream contours. That's not gonna work on light skin. That's not gonna work on me. I don't know who that's for. Also, third thing, why is every light complected person getting a peach and a pink? I get those are the most flattering and the most common, but can we zhuzh it up a little bit? Can we give it a little bit more tone? A tonal difference, because these are basic Becky blush tones, and though I wear them, I don't want them in every face palette. I get that, like, yes, universally, that's going to be your go-tos, and they do work with the palette itself. Me personally, with the coolness of the eyeshadows, I would have wanted like a mauve in there and not a peach. Fourth issue I have is the shadows for the dark palette are not deeper. So those are gonna probably look ashy and chalky on deeper complexions. So the contour shade is fairly decent for deeper complexions. The blush tones aren't even that bad, but those shades, if you're gonna do creams that are separated for light to medium and then medium to deep or tan to deep, then you need to make the shadows also mimic the tone and the richness of the creams in this palette, right? You can't give different cheek products for different tones but not do the same for the eyeshadow. It's very lazy and it's half done. You're like, okay, we figured out some blush tones, figured out a deep enough contour so they can't say that we're not being inclusive, and then do that, you know? So like, if you're gonna go as far as to make 2 palettes, which I always think that there should be at least 3, then why aren't you going to follow through and finish it off with shadows that are gonna have richness and pigmentation to them to match deeper complexions? Because those aren't gonna work on everyone. So that's my issue with it. I don't want these. They're not that pretty. They don't really stand out. The prettiest thing about them is the packaging, and it's kind of basic. I like Tarte. I like Tarte products. But I'm also a white woman that likes neutrals. So it fits, like, I am the demographic here, right? So Tarte's doing what they want to do. They're just throwing in this face palette for deeper complexions because they're trying to be inclusive. And it's like, you could have done more. And I'm like, I'm glad that they're working on it, but they could have just paused this release and worked on it a little bit longer. They tried. I don't think this hits the mark. Does that make sense? So these are a pass for me. Another set of face palettes. These are from Smashbox. These are the Halo Sculpt and Glow face palettes with vitamin E. I love when brands try to include skincare. I don't know how well that works, but I do kind of like it. It's a little bit extra. These are all-in-one contour, blush, and highlighter palettes. 4 cushiony shades to build effortless, natural-looking color and dimension. They're $45 each, but they're fairly large pans. You have pink saturation, berry saturation, coral saturation, and then back to Cali. So I think these are good. I think if brands are going to do cheek palettes, hint, hint, Tarte, do more than 2. This, it's pretty. I will say, again, the very fair palette on the top left, quit giving fair complected people a peach and a pink. And it's not just any pink, it's a baby pink. Sometimes we don't want to be baby pink. Like, can we do something a little different? And then the medium and tan palettes, I think those are pretty. I don't know about the contour shades there. I haven't worked with contour on deeper complexions really much. The deepest palette I wish had the vibrancy like the bottom left palette, like the powerful color saturation of that. I wish also followed through with the deepest palette there, because I feel like those aren't going to show up the best. When I look and think of deep skin, I love to see pops of color on the cheek. I think it's beautiful. I love the contrast. There's something about that dynamic of the richness and the pigment of their skin and then the richness of the blush that I love it. So when I see that deeper complected palette, I personally am like, could we not spice it up and add a little bit more red base to the burgundy shade? And could we not have added just a little bit more orange into the orange or bronzy shade? For that, I'm gonna pass on these. I don't need a cheek palette. I do think that, like, it has potential. I like that they included 4. I just wanted a little bit more in the tone. Okay, guys. So another one that I'm really excited to kind of roast, I'm not gonna lie, is the new Skin, I think it's Skin by Kim, which is Kim Kardashian's. This is what confuses me. So it's her skincare line? No, because Skims is the shapewear, but then Skin is the skincare, and now it's Skin by Kim, but they added makeup. Why? Anyway, so this is the new makeup launch, or my bad, the first makeup launch for Skin by Kim Kardashian. I think Makeup by Mario left her company because I think he was like the leading makeup artist for the brand for KKW. He left because he was doing his own brand. You know, I think he was getting that in the works, and that's probably why he left her brand. Now she's back. And it's kind of funny because I don't have a problem with the lipsticks or the lip liners. They're not terrible. They're basic. They're basic neutrals. That's pretty standard. Most brands that come out with lip products tend to do neutrals because it's the safe bet and most people are going to buy that. My issue is this palette for $50. It's the most basic color story. Makeup by Mario, they already did this. I will say there's a couple different tones, but it's the same palette. Like, what are we doing? It's like, it irritates me, and I don't know if it's because the formula is actually good, because obviously I'm not trying this. I could care less. Or is it because she put her name on it? So I haven't watched any reviews. It irritates me to charge $50. It's nothing special. I am tired of makeup brands doing the bare minimum when it comes to your first launch. Can we get something different? Not literally carbon copies of other things from other brands. Another thing that I'm interested in is from L'Oreal Paris. Now, I don't try to buy from non-cruelty-free brands. I also don't like paying $30-something for setting spray. And this one, it doesn't say how much it is. I'm assuming it's going to be to like $15 to $18 range because that's typically the price point of L'Oreal. This is their Infallible 3-second setting spray. It's L'Oreal's first ever makeup setting spray that sets and extends your makeup for the fresh, just applied look that lasts up to 24 hours. Anti-melt, anti-fade, anti-crack. A microfine texture to set and extend your makeup look. So I'm excited. It is like an aerosol can, and those typically have a finer mist to them, and I really hope that it could be a replacement for the Until Dawn setting spray from One Size because it's so expensive and I go through it so fast. This can be a dupe, I will take it. So Tarte, again, they are coming out with the Bio Maneater Satin Blush Cheek Plump. Two things. Tarte will never let Maracuja and Maneater die. So they're just going to keep adding to it. This is going to be $29. There's 11 shades. I don't understand why it's plumping. Why is it plumping? It is a cheek product. Why are we plumping? I'm over it. We're not doing it. I will say the purple shade is interesting. Most brands don't do a purple shade, so I give them credit for that. We don't need plumping. Why is everything plumping? Another blush product is from Milk. These are the Cooling Water Jelly Tint Sheer Lip and Cheek Stains. I think these were made just to be viral. So they're like a Jell-O in a tube, right? Very small packaging. So for $24, you're getting this much product. I'm not a fan of stains, so this isn't for me. They are pretty. If you look at the swatches, why are 3 of them pink? 3 of them are essentially the same shade. Also, on the deepest arm, they don't really show up well. I don't think these are going to be the most exclusive. The berry tone's supposed to be number 4, and it's supposed to be like made for deeper complexion. All of them look the same on the last arm, and I don't know if this is photoshopped. It kind of looks like it could be. I get that stains are supposed to be kind of like a wash of color. They fade a little bit more gracefully, but you could have really done something a little bit more, a little bit more tonal difference. So these are a pass for me. I also think that they were just made to go viral on TikTok, which that is a whole other video that I could make about like the virality. Fenty's coming out with like, I almost want to say a baked highlighter. These are their Demi Glow Light Diffusing Highlighters. So these are beautiful. They're a single thing. If you look at them, they look almost like a baked highlighter formula, and if they are baked, they are probably from Italy. Italy is where you get your baked powders and tend to be very, very gorgeous. If I can find out more about it, I'll let you know if these are from Italy, because if it's an Italian formula, baby, is probably going to be good. So I'm very interested in those. Another thing that I'm excited about is from Danessa Myricks, another Black-owned, woman-owned brand that I'm obsessed with. This is there's 2 different products coming out. There is the Water Powder Serum. It is mattifying, it blurs, it smooths, and it soothes the skin. So it's literally everything I love about primer. And it says you can wear it alone or under makeup. It's for all skin types. Interesting texture, applies like water and vaporizes into a smooth powder. I love Danessa Myricks for these innovative formulas. It's so unique. I want to just dissect her brain because of how innovative she is, and she is a game-changing makeup artist in the industry right now, and I love it. I'm obsessed. The other thing is the Moisturizer Repair Balm. It's hydrating skin. So it hydrates the skin and can be applied alone or again under makeup. That is very similar to the Makeup Blurring Balm That's made for oily skin, textured skin. This is going to be for the dry girls. And I'm not going to lie, it kind of looks like a lemon custard. So it also makes me hungry. But that one I probably wouldn't use. I'm still interested to try it for the winter up north because winters up north are really harsh. Or the water powder serum, I really want to try that. That is, I'm gonna get that. Okay guys, so that's everything I wanted to run through. Hopefully it is a smoother video. I really hope that you enjoyed this, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe and do all of that YouTube stuff. Let me know if there's anything that you're interested in, so just comment that down below. If you don't have anything that you're interested in, just let me know if you liked this. I really enjoyed this. You'll be seeing February's purchaser pass relatively soon, and I'm so excited because I've been saving a list on Instagram of the things I want to talk about because there's some doozies. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day or night, and I'm just grateful if you stuck around until the end, and I will talk to you another day at another time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.